Howdy folks, monthly update for the month that was November, sitting here on the 8th of December 2022. November was pretty crazy, very busy month in terms of rugby. There's been a bunch of stuff in the media the last few days, a bit of a fallout, especially the coaching changes. We've had the Eddie Jones news, the Wayne Pivac news, now New Zealand rugby's in the news a wee bit. And there's some coaching appointments going on at Super Rugby, Ronan O'Gara. So yeah, we'll go through some of those things, but first, just a little bit of housekeeping for the month of November that's just gone. Some stats and thanks, man. Just thanks, guys, for being along in November. November was hectic. I think there was like 50 plus videos on this channel during November. Just so many games on. It's such a great time for rugby fans, but it's a very busy time for a dude who makes videos about rugby games because there's just so many games on. But it's, I mean, it's pretty fantastic stuff. What was the most popular video in November? It was Ireland against South Africa. What were the two top countries by geography? Well, it was South Africa and Ireland, 1 and 2. So there you go, that kind of makes sense. UK 3, New Zealand 4, Australia 5, USA 6, France 7, even 263 views from New Caledonia. So happy times, folks. Number one age group for the month was 24 to 35, but my age group, the 35 to 44 year olds, are catching up to you young fellas and ladies. I mean, 92% male, but it used to be 95, so that's changing a wee bit. So yes, thank you all you people from all those various countries and other countries, whatever your gender is, don't really care, but thank you for being along, for coming along in November. It was a pretty crazy month. I should say though, 62% of people haven't subscribed, 63. So if you haven't subscribed, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. It must get kind of annoying with all the recommended videos when there's like 50 videos in a month. I apologize for that, but if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I would certainly appreciate it. Also, special thanks to the patrons who are supporting the channel. As always, I put a link down in the description to Patreon. We do some extra videos for Patreon. 50 odd videos is not enough for you in a month. Super Brew updates. I should say there's a Super Brew pool coming for the Champions Cup, which is starting in a couple of days. If you want to join that, that'll be down in the description. But we do the Super Brew updates. We did talk of that Anzac 15 to play the British and Irish Lions. The Super Rugby Pacific getting locked into 2030. Just a wee bit of extra stuff has been on there, folks. So yeah, if you are keen to support the channel, as I said, Patreon down in the description. All these people help out a heck of a lot, especially to Angus, Jack McHugh, and Michael Daly. Thank you guys for all your support. And to the new patrons, Raider Dab, Ross D, and Robert Diva. So there you go, all the 3 R's, 3 new patrons for the month. So if you want to join those guys, get your name scrolled along for all time. I don't know, for as long as YouTube is around and there's videos on, it'll be up there. So yeah, link down in the description, folks. Much appreciated if you could consider it. Otherwise, subscribing, liking, commenting, viewing, all that stuff is pretty much going to keep things going. News-wise, what's been going on? New Zealand rugby, on the back of Gatland going to Wales and Eddie Jones getting the sack, and Eddie Jones being linked with like Australia and America, New Zealand rugby have kind of came out and said they are already having discussions about who will possibly take over from Ian Foster at the end of 2023 World Cup. I guess that means Fozzie's not going to be considered for reapplication. I mean, maybe if he wins the World Cup. I think it's probably the only way Fozzie would possibly get reappointed. But yeah, they're in discussion, so it's possible we could get an announcement. I'm not saying in this like near future, but at some point before the World Cup, much like what Wales did with Pivac's announcement prior to Gatland stepping down. That went well. That, you know, we may know who the next All Blacks coach is going to be before the World Cup. So that is quite the possibility. The logic here seems to be basically, if you want to get Razor, if you want to get Scott Robertson before he gets poached by somebody else, his name has been linked to numerous jobs, including England's one at the moment. Not that it seems that likely, but yeah, if they want to lock in Razor before he takes a job somewhere else, they better get all their ducks in a row. So that seems to be what the angle is with that one, seeing as Razor was ever so close to taking over from Fozzie. Missed out, but yeah, if they can lock him in, then at least things will kind of calm down on the speculation front. Another guy who had his name linked with a lot of jobs was Ronan O'Gara, but he has been locked in for his French team that he's been coaching for a couple of years now, La Rochelle. 5-year extension for him, so that'll kind of, I would assume, put paid to a lot of the rumours that have been circulating about him taking numerous jobs, or him and Razor being linked to pretty much any available or coach under pressure role. Wales and England, I guess, especially, but yeah, that would be weird for Rog to take over England, wouldn't it? That just wouldn't feel right. But yeah, 5 years with La Rochelle, so it seems like he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So if Razor gets locked in eventually, and then Rog is locked in, maybe we'll get a little bit less of that speculation. But anyway, and lastly, a couple of Super Rugby appointments have been announced. Ben Smith and Nasi Manu, former Highlanders players, Super Rugby winners, are going to take on some kind of mentoring roles with the Highlanders, so that's good news. Maybe they're looking to get in to the coaching scene. And Paul Tito, who's had numerous kind of coaching gigs around the traps, is going to be the new forwards coach for the Blues next year. He seems to have a pretty good track record thus far, still relatively early on in his coaching career, but as I said, he's been around for a few different gigs, so fingers crossed he has a good go of it. But yeah, there you go, folks. That is the monthly update for November. As I said, it was a pretty hectic month. So many games on, and yeah, the fallout of that is still being felt now. I'll say it once again, thanks to the patrons. Thanks to you guys for subscribing, for liking, for commenting, sharing, all of that jazz. For the people who send me emails and messages on Facebook, sometimes I'm a bit slow to reply, but hopefully I get there in the end. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts. Do you reckon New Zealand will announce Razor, or do you think it's all a bit of hot air from Mark Robinson? Rog not locked in, so there's not really much speculating to do there. And yeah, we'll see how things go as we get towards Super Rugby, which is next year, but the one on the immediate horizon is the old Champions Cup. So anyway, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.